We covered functions yesterday. I wouldn't say we are fully covered. I'll repeat from functions today. We'll try to solve on functions. We'll also look at while, repeat, loop statements, and then we'll see what are stored procedures. Okay, and then what is the difference between stored functions and stored procedures? We saw this, why we need functions. We have discussed this in depth because they help us to encapsulate the logic into one single function. They can be reused at a lot of different places. They can also help us in abstracting code and all. So I'll not go here. I've also shared the PPTs. You can read them later. And we saw what are the characteristics of a function. One is it can only return one single value. It can't return more than one value. Select, query, all of that it can't return. You need to have create routine function. We discussed what delimiter was, why we need a delimiter. Then create function, the basic syntax, returns the data type, and we discussed characteristics like deterministic, non-deterministic, and then function body. And this was the query. If you want to find out what all are functions that are defined, it is present in information schema.routines table. This was also same, nothing special. But let us say we had created this function, right? So let us say I want to create some function, but instead of returning something, I want to put the whole select query. If I do select star. So what does select star give? Select star gives us a whole list of values, right? If I do select star here, no, it will give me all these. Okay, class name ये सब निकालते हैं. Classroom some random value A and grade is B. Okay. Run, there is nothing, so it is fine. But we cannot include select statement, update statements, and all inside functions, stored functions. Okay. Why? Because a function should always return one value, right? So now here, this count of students will have more than one value. It will be like of the whole list of columns and rows. Say if I try to create this function, it will throw an error to me saying, okay. So it didn't throw me an error while creating, but it is saying later on, see, the select statements have a different number of columns, the use select statement. So it is saying one is it should only return one column and only one value from that column. But because I'm returning more than one value, it is failing. It is saying this, the use select statement cannot have. But let us say instead of this, I return only, we'll drop the function first. Drop function count of student one, drop that function. So now let us say I'll not create I'll not return all the columns, I'll return only one column. Let's call this column, what do we, let's say we want name of the student. We'll say ID. Okay. Select ID from, so I created with this function with this command now. Now if I run this, it will still throw me an error. What is it saying? Result consisted of more than one row. So we discussed, right? A function should always return only one value. Now, because we did a select here and the number of items that is being returned in this ID is more than one, it is failing. Okay. But if I would do like this, limit one, then create this function, then it will pass because finally what we are returning only one value inside the ID. That is our, that is the variable that we have declared. Okay. I can show that to you. Drop function, prints one, run this. Now, if I uncomment this, then if I create this function now, and now if I run this, right, it will pass. So it is giving two. Two is the ID of the first guy. So since I returned only one value, the function ran successfully. So I wanted to explain one more thing. So you are seeing me doing this thing, right? So if I do control and back tick forward slash, right, you see this hash symbol. Okay. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm commenting these lines. So you might have seen this in any programming language. You have an option to add some comments. So like, for example, you're writing any function. So I'm writing this function, right? So let's say I want to give a description. So what I can do is, this is a description about this function. So because this, I'm adding hash, not hash, what do we call this symbol? Okay, I can't not sure what we call it. Let's call it hash. So because I'm adding this hash, so this becomes a comment. I think in here, no, I changed the value to hash, but you can set to whatever comment you want it. So now you can also use a function inside a function. Like for example, count of students one is one function, or count of students is also a function, right? Select count of students. Here only it's there, no? Count of students a comma a plus, um, comma a plus, and then I'll do what? This is correct, right? If I run this, you are saying so. This gave me some value. So let us say I wanted to write one more function, which was giving me the percentage of how many students are having this much from class A and A plus. Give me the percentage of students who are having this much percentage. Okay, it's like saying select star from TBL student. So it's like saying how many students are there from class A and how many of them have A plus percentage. Okay, so how can we do that? So I'll create one more function. Let's call it create function. The name of the function is create percentage per class. This is syntax. 1 second. Then you have students. Then you have the variables. Okay. So I'll take the same variables period taken here. Varchar grade, varchar returns percentage this time. Varchar class, grade is again of type variable. Let's call it input grade because we saw the issue, right? Input grade. Okay. So now returns decimal, say 2, and then you have a begin, right? So now what we will do is we'll declare 3 variables first. Okay, one is count of students is of type int. So then what we will do, select count of students, um, class comma input grade into call it count of students with grade. Count of students with grade. Okay. So you saw what I did here. Inside this function call, I'm calling another function. So this function is grade percentage per class. But what I'm doing, I'm calling one more function here, count of students, and its value I'm storing inside this. Okay. I'll create one more variable, count of students with grade and count of students. Okay, and both are of type integer. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll also do select count star from same table, that is TBL student, where uh, classroom is equal to class into count of students. Then what we'll do, return count of students with grade into 100 divided by total number of students in the class, that is count of students. Let's call it end. We also need to update the delimiter. $. So what am I doing here? I have used one function which is already created. This is that function inside another function. Okay, so it's like calling a stored function inside a definition of another stored function. So let's say I create this function. It has been successfully created. Now if I do select grade percentage per class, and let's say I want to find out how many people are there in class A who have got A plus, then it should return me the value directly. So it is saying 66.7%, 66.67, right? So let us say I want to find out how many people have got B plus. Sorry, 33.3%. So then nobody else should have got anything. C plus 0%, D plus 0%. So because all the students who got the grades came in A plus and B plus, everybody else is nobody else. People do not have any other grade at all in class A. Let's say if I wanted to find the same for class B, go and enter B, D plus. Nobody has got B, A plus. Only I think whatever is the number percent. This many percentage of people have got B, A plus in B class. 0 I got B. Just B. Nobody has got B plus. Nobody has got C. Not sure what people have got in class, but you understand the idea, right? So what we are doing is we are doing nested function call. So inside the definition of one function, we are calling another function. Repeat once about its syntax. Syntax about the function. Okay, I'll explain. So if you go back, the first line is because we discussed yesterday, right? SQL considers semicolon. Semicolon by default means end of the line. It is like saying send all this query to the SQL server. What we do is MySQL server, we change the delimiter first. So because I changed the delimiter, now even if I put a semicolon, this the function call doesn't end here. The function definition, it ends only when I put it ends only when I submit a delimiter. So for all this whole code, the delimiter is presented only here. So what does that mean? It means like I'm telling the MySQL server, this is my one whole statement. Okay, so the whole function definition is my one whole statement. So that is the reason why we are using delimiter. Then for creating a function, this is same. You say create function, and then you give the name of the function. Okay, so the name of the function here is grade percentage per class. So this can be anything, whatever you want to give, you can give that. But we have to keep in mind that there should not be any function which is already having this name. So like for example, if I already created this function, if I try to create this again, see it says function grade percentage per class already exists. Okay, so this name should be unique. There should not be any function which has been created with this name. Then what you have is you have a list of input variables. So these input variables can be of any data type. You have to specify what is the data type, and they can be it can either be one or it can be more than one. Okay, you can also have zero input variables. Okay, so like for example, if I say I'll create a function, let me copy the IMI delimiter dollar, then create function dummy function. Okay, and let's say I don't take any input variable at all, and let's say returns varchar size, let's say 50. Okay, and begin. What I do is return hello world. Okay, and I do end, then the delimiter, and then delimiter is returns. So now if you see, I've created a function here. This function, if you see, and all the statements, right, they're ending with semicolon. That also had given. That's why if I had not put a semicolon here, it was throwing me error. Put a semicolon here. So this function doesn't take any input variables. Here we have two input variables. First, we write the name of the input variable. The name of the input variable here is class, and its data type is varchar. And then you have a comma. After that, you have another input variable, and then you have another varchar. Input variable name and then the type of data type of the input variable. Okay, and then you have the returns. So since every function should return some value, you cannot have a function which does not return any value. You must have this return statement. So returns, and what is the data type? The data type is of decimal and 10 numbers, and the number of points beyond decimal is 2. So 10 digit and 2. Okay. And then you have a begin statement. So begin is like saying this is where the body of the function starts. Okay. The body of the function starts here. And then in the initial phase, you have all the declare statements. Declare statement means here all you are initializing all the variables. You are creating the variables. Okay. And if you want to give some default value to them, you can write here default and give 0, 10, whatever you want to give default value, right? So you can do that also. So you have declared all the variables. Then you run whatever statements you want, select statement, whatever statement you want, and then return the final answer. So this return is what the function will give you back. Okay. And after having a return statement should be at the end. So once you have a return statement, you say that the body of the function has ended and you end it with the delimiter. And after that, you change the delimiter. Okay. Does it explain? Hmm. I'll assume you guys have understood. So I was saying this is a dummy function. So this doesn't take any input variables and it returns a string. Let me create this function. Okay. So we are done creating this. No, it ran a different query. Second, AQR. So it already exists. ये चल रहा है. Okay. Created this. Now if I do select dummy function, see, I had asked it to return hello world. If you see the definition of this dummy function, we just told return hello world. That is why it is returning a hello world. Okay. So this is a function with 0 input variables. Similarly, you can have functions with as many input variables. There will be some limit, but you might not cross that limit anytime. So you can give all the input variables here. Okay. And also it is not necessary that you have to define you have to declare any variables at all. So if you see in this function, I have not declared any variable. So you can also use if and case statements inside a function. If like, for example, let's call it get grade. Okay. So the name of the function is get grade and it takes input as varchar. Say it is input grade. I'll name it input grade. And let's say it's a varchar. Size is 10. It returns also string. Then I can do this thing. So you can have multiple return. That is also true. Otherwise, this is to declare final output. Call it output. Okay. It's also of type varchar. Size 50. Okay. Now what I'll do, case on the input grade, when it is what when input grade is wait. So we do select, right? Select what is the definition? I think this should be fine. Let's just do this first. When grade is A plus, then intelligent student. When grade is B plus, then normal student. Else, let's say it is bad student. Okay. So now if I as select, we do select first. Select this as, let's say, some column name will give student feedback into let's say I put it in output. Okay. So now why is it showing an issue? As is not valid. Select case input grade as what was the 1 second? Forgotten the syntax of case statement. Mm, Case was in last class. No? Just give me 1 minute. Mm, Case was okay. Select student name, grade, case, grade. This is one, but if I want to use it directly, mm, second, select. Uh, or is it throwing an issue? Anybody has an idea? And okay. Correct. And as. So now what we have done is using case statement, we are taking some value input grade, and then we are returning this. I'll not have to return hello world. I'll have to return output. Okay. Second. So now if you see, if I use this function anywhere, right? So let's say I created this function. So I hope everybody understood what I've written. We are using a delimiter, create function. We take an input type, and inside this function, we are using a case statement. So case statement, the input type we are taking, and then we are doing this when and else case. Okay, so let's say I save this function. It is saved. So now if I do select get grade of input grade is let's say A plus, then it return intelligent student. So that is what we had said, right? So not only here, I can also use this inside a table now. So if I do select star, comma, remark, sorry, get grade of this input table grade, let's call it get grade only from TBL student. So now you can see, right? So what we have done is we created that function. We executed that function for uh, all the rows of the table. That's how we have done it. When we are printing the row, we are passing the input to that function get grade, and because of that, get grade is calculating whatever it wants and it is returning the answer. Okay, so this way you can use a case statement inside a function also. Okay, and you cannot do insert and update inside these table inside a function. Okay, so for that we have a type of different type of a function called a stored procedure. Okay, so this is that. Then else we discussed. So not only in select statement, you can also use this in update, delete, and insert. So let's say I wanted to, I'll create a new column. This, let's say I add a column to the table. Okay. Uh, create, append, create table, file table. No, sorry, it's alter. No, alter table. Table name is TBL student. Add column. Uh, Column name is remark, and its data type is rchar. Cap size 30. Okay. So now if you see, if I do select star from, it is null because there is no remark. So if I do an update table and only add remark, that is also possible. Update table, update TBL student, set remark Okay, can do set get set no, no, get grade. No, 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 no. Set remark is equal to get grade. Okay, so what I'm doing, so update this table for all the rows, take the grade and then add its remark. Okay, so if I do an enter, should I execute it? You're using save update mode. Okay, every time I have to do this one. Mm, remark, keep forgetting that query also. So save mode, MySQL, SQL save updates. Okay, they should have been executed. So how do I execute it? I hit Control and Enter. Control and Enter is a shortcut key to execute. It is pointing here, right? So wherever my cursor is pointing, that statement will get executed if I hit Control Enter. Okay. So now I've added remark by using this function. So now if I do select star from table student, no, you'll see what is the difference. Star from TBL. So I've not added anything extra. So now this remark is a column of this table. But what we did, we used the function that we had created in an update statement. Okay. So similarly, you can use this function test that you create in update, delete, and all as well. Okay. So that is one. And also these functions can be recursive. I would, so I'll just give an example of what recursive is. Recursive is like calling yourself again, and it's like, let's assume you have a snake and then the snake goes and bites its own tail, right? So something like that. So you can also call these functions recursively. I'm not going depth, it should be covered when they're teaching you Java and all, but just know that it is possible to have these functions recursively as well. Okay. Then this and all we discussed. We also saw some examples. I think I can give you some questions that you can solve and tell me. Hmm, let us say you have, what all tables do we have here? So I have TBL marks, TBL students, student joins, travel, world table is there, right? World. In world, we have country table. Okay. So let's say I use world. Okay. So now let's say I do select star from country. Okay. So country, what do they have? They have population life expectancy. Okay. So the question is like this. Write a function in which we need to pass a continent and it returns the average life expectancy of all the countries in that continent. ANENT. Let's see how you guys do this. Okay. So life expectancy is the column LIFEXP, CTA, and CY. And then country column is just continent is continent column. So continent is one column and life expectancy. Life expectancy is another column. So try writing the function for this. Okay. I'll give 2 minutes. So whoever writes the function first, I'll take their code and just put it in the SQL workbench and see. And also another function, write a function that should give me the countries that should take year as input. And then this, I think it's a number only independent year. And then tell how many countries got independent after that. This is the second question. You guys are trying? I don't see any answers so far. Okay, you keep trying. I'll also write with you. Okay. For the first one, let's say create function. So the name of the function is get average life expectancy for in continent. I'll call it. And what all are the inputs it is taking? The inputs it is taking are only the name of the continent. So continent name is, let's call it just name, and then type of this. Say it is type character. Okay. And then I say hmm, what what size? Let's say 30. Nothing can be more than 30. And then what does it return? It returns an integer value. Now it should be a decimal value. Okay, size say 10 comma 2. Then begin, and then I will do we'll declare a variable first. Declare, let's say the variable name is average life expectancy. It's of type again decimal. Step, comma 2. Then we write the function here now. Select average of life expectancy. No, the column name, that is full life expectancy, from the table name is country, where uh, where region a continent is equal to name, whatever the continent name you passed. Okay. Save this into the average life expectancy. Okay. So then this much is done, and we do return average life expectancy and call end. And also we need to end the statement as well. Okay. And because I've not changed the delimiter, let's say I change the delimiter here. There is this. I embed with the delimiter, and then I change delimiter to percentage. This is what I would write. Nobody else has written. You guys do not understand. I don't want to try. Okay, fine. It's okay. I'll continue. So let's say if I store this function, okay, let's we'll enter. So let's say specifying number of digits for floating point will be removed in future. That's okay. That's fine. So now if I do select get, okay, very long function name, functions. Say if I give Asia. Okay, so I'm able to get it right. Asia is 67.44. Africa 52.57. Let's say some other. Europe should be more than Asia and Africa. Europe 75. Okay. So just a way to write function. So let us take. I've given a lot of different examples. You can go through later on when I share the PPT. So this way I discuss if a function to check if a given date is weekend or no. Then yeah, I'll just move ahead. We have practiced enough of. So this is one example where we are checking if a string is palindrome or no, whatever is the input, and we are using another function. That function is, it is a reverse function, string function that we discussed. So something, there's also one good function. Okay. I'll just go ahead. So dropping a function is again very similar to what we were dropping everything else. Um, so just like how we use drop table, drop database, drop what else? What else did we learn? Drop column, we don't drop, we do delete column. But similar to table, a drop function if exists and the name of the function. So let's say if I wanted to delete this function, drop function, then so then this function gets deleted. So now you will not be able to see this function. Yeah, straightforward. Let's move ahead. So there is another type of if statement that can be used inside functions. So so far in the beginning we had seen this if, right? So this was select if then we used to give it a condition 2 is greater than 3 and then say true, else false. So this was what? This was a if function. So like if function, right? But case was a statement. So similarly, we have a if statement as well. So we'll take a look at that. So in if you have a lot of possible things that you can do. One is if and then, other is if then else, the other is if then else if else. So what does this mean? The first is if then is only for one condition. If 2 is greater than 3, then do something. Okay. The second one is if 2 is greater than if 2 is greater than 3, then do this or else do this. Okay. The third one is if 2 is greater than 3, then do this. Else if 2 is greater than 4, then do this. Else if, and then at the end you have a else condition. Okay. So how can we use them inside so these directly again cannot be used inside a select statement. You'll have to use them inside a function. Okay. So like example, so similarly, uh, to create function again, let's go back to, so we'll take country as an example only. So let's start from country. So let us say we have, sorry. So given a country, we should tell if it is a rich country, middle class country, or poor country. Okay. So how are we going to decide that? We are going to decide that by, uh, this is getting lost. 1 second. We'll take a GNP, okay, gross national product. So if the gross national product of the country is more than 500, it's middle class. Let's say 5,000. No, 500 it is more than middle class. Less than 500, 1,000. 1,500 is middle class. Less than 1,500 it is poor. Greater than 1,500 it is rich. Okay. And what we have to do is we have to just pass the name of the country. Okay. Like for example, country code. ABWAFOAGG like this. Okay. So we'll try to write a function for this using if conditions. Okay. So let us do this thing will be there. We pull this down. Create function. Name of the function is country status. Country status, and it takes input name of the country, that is uh, car. So country code. Let's just call it code, and it is of type character. Let's make it varchar. Let's give it character. I think it should work. Character of size 3 because we only have T3. It's getting distorted, but we only have T3 code as a character setting, and then returns. It returns a string, say varchar size. Say it is what? Say it is 30. Okay. Then we do a begin. Then we'll declare one variable which will first fetch the GNP. Declare GNP of country. It is of type decimal. First 10 comma 2. Okay. Then what we do is select uh, it was GNP. This is GNP. Okay. Select GNP from country where country code is equal to, it's not country code, it is just code. Yeah. So we'll call here country code, and then let's call it country, just code. No, code is equal to country code. Okay. Into GNP of country. So you've done this. So let us declare another variable output. It is of type, it's of type varchar. Size is 30. So now what we will do is based on why is it showing error? DCLARE put varchar decimal 10 to, okay, we'll see. So fine. So based on the type of this value of this GNP, right, we will do a set statement. It's like if GNP of country is greater than if GNP of country is greater than 1500. So let's say this 5000. 1500 is 5000. Okay, 5000. Then GN output is equal to rich country. Else, if GNP of country greater than 1500, then output is equal to middle class. Okay. Else, this is the final statement. Else it is poor. Okay. Then I do return. Uh, what do we return? We return output. And then I do end. Let me set the delimiter here. $, $, then delimiter, single semicolon. Okay. So you guys can see the function. So what have we done? We have used if statements. So if then set sorry, my else if is not working. 1 second. Or it's just else. If then else if. Okay. This much. Okay. It is not even output is which country else if then. 1 second. I'm sure why it is saying equal. Should have some example. Income rate label 1. No, not this. Not added any condition. Set output as equal to rich. Else if GNP greater than. Okay, we have an ND at the end. Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay, and it's still that is also ND. No matter output is greater. And it still shows error. Country is greater than. Okay. Okay. It should be written like this. That is best. Okay. So because this is a statement should end with a semicolon. Okay. So if you see what we have done, we have taken the input country code. We are fetching the answer of the, we are fetching the value GNP of the country using this country code in the select statement. Then what we are doing is then we are using if else statements and then setting the value of output. Okay. So let's say we country status. No? Let's say we run this function. We create this function. So it says country status function is created. So let us try to run it for India. Select country status, say India IND. Okay, it says rich country for India. Okay, okay. Let's say USA. It's saying rich country for everyone now. Wait. Select GNP where country status is country code is IND from 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 okay. Okay. So we saw GNP for some countries very small, no? From country where is less than 1,500. Okay, ABW, these are the countries whose it's less. So let's check for these countries. It should say it is not even poor. It is poor country. ASM. Okay. So if I choose ASM, poor, correct, right? So let us say I choose somebody who is greater than 1,500 and less than 5,000 and not null. Okay. GNP is not null. Okay. So these are the countries. So any country, TJK, let's say if I choose TJK, it should say it is middle class country for me, right? So this is how we use if, else, if and all. Let us say I wanted to use just if and else. Then how I would do is, if let's say I had a function and which was returning me just saying underage or not. Okay. So let's say I would take a student table, age का student में joins to joins company, company has student table. Use company, select star from student, कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, star from student to star from employees दिखते हैं, ठीक है, EMPLOYE, right, star from star from Amazon. Okay, we'll do something on this. Okay. So that's simple. If the number is 0, you have to tell it is out of stock. If it is 1, you have to tell in stock. Okay, using a if or if else. Okay, so then let's say I'll make these 0, some of them as 0, so that we have right, finished. So now if we will write a function which will tell based on the ID of the product, it will tell you whether it is in stock or no. Okay, so just if it is 1 in stock, if it is not 1, it is out of stock. So in stock is boolean, no? In stock, okay, it's tiny int. So we just have to equate it to 1 or no. Cool. So now let us say I write a delimiter. First we reset it to this. Create function. Name of the function is in stock. Okay, it's the name of the function, and we take one value that is int ID. We call it item ID. The name of the both the values should not be same. In table also it is ID. If here also if I take ID, it will be confusing. Item ID it's of type int. Okay, and what does it return? It returns a varchar var har of size, let's say 30. Uh, so it will just say whether it is in stock or out of stock. Okay, then let's do begin. So what we do is we take this value uh, is in stock, declare a tiny int only, declare let's say it is in stock tiny int. Okay, there's a type tiny int. Okay, it's cool. We've done this, declared in stock of tiny int, item ID, we've taken this. Select in stock from table name is Amazon, where ID is equal to item ID, okay, into in stock. Okay, so you've done this much. So now what I do is if I also need to return, right? I think let's check if this return works. Okay, if in stock is equal to 1, okay, then return uh, the item is in stock. Okay. I'll say else return the item is out of stock. Okay, then just we do end and delimiter. We've added delimiter, and then we do begin end. Okay, end if. Okay, cool. Change the delimiter to semicolon. Okay. So now, what new thing have we added here? Let's return this. Okay. So the thing that we have changed is instead of storing it inside a variable, right? We are directly returning the value. Okay. So this is also possible. So if you want to stop the function at any point in time, what you can do is you can when you say a return, the function ends here and whatever is the value that you specified here, no, that gets returned to the whoever is calling the function. Okay. So let us say I run this function. It's created. So select is in stock, say item 1 with ID 1. Function company dot in stock does not exist. Is in stock STOC के क्या गलत किया क्या? Is in stock declare in stock item ID int. 1 second. Create function is in stock. Okay, now it is. I don't know why it was saying no. If you see item 2, it is in stock. Item 3 in stock. 4 in stock. 5 stock. 6. Something which is not in stock. No. Wait 1 second. Select star from Amazon. So who's not in stock? 20 is not in stock. 20 and if I enter. Okay, so you can see it. It is saying the item is out of stock. So right, what did we do here? We used if to create another kind of a function. Okay. So I'll stop here for a while. Anybody has any doubts? This time 8:12. Okay. Does anybody have a doubt or any doubts? Okay, fine. We'll go to the next topic, that is stored procedures. Okay. Oh, we have loop also. Yeah. Okay. We'll do loop before stored procedures. Okay. So just give me a tell me who all have not learned what is for loop, while loop in your college days. For, while, do while. People who have not learned, people who do not know, you can type in the chat. I see only one person raised their hand over it. Hmm, there are two people. Okay. So similar to loops, uh, just like similar to how we have loops in normal programming languages, right? C, C++, Java, and all. We also have loops in MySQL. So these loops are of different type. Uh, one is of one. There are different statements. One is normal loop. One is a repeat statement, and the other one is while statement. Okay. So all of them are very similar. All of them satisfy the do the same kind of thing, but there are different ways to do all of them. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Drink some water. So how does a loop look like? Before that, so I'll just tell you what are the looping constructs. I hope I'll just paint for some time. You people who do not know at least have an idea. Okay. So most of the things in computer science, right? They are repetitive tasks. What do I mean by repetitive tasks? So if I tell you to print numbers from 1 to 100, okay, so you'll not start, let's say, writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on your own, right? So instead, what you can do is, let's say I have a value x and it has 1. I've stored number 1 inside x. So you can write a set of statements saying every time increase the value of x to 1 and then print it. So it is like saying uh, normal layman terms. Okay, say x is 1. It start x with 1 in the beginning. Then these are the statements. Do x is equal to x plus 1, print x, keep doing this till x is 100. Okay, so there are three things. One is the initial value of x. Then you have a set of statements, initial value, set of statements, and then you also have the increment here. And then you have the uh, condition to check. So how is my flow? My flow is like this. So I will have x in the beginning. X is 1. Initial value is 1. Set of statements is x is equal to x plus 1. Print x. Okay. So let's say initial value of x is 0. Increment. Say I'll remove this from here. Okay. So the set of statement is just print x. Okay. And increment is 1. increment the value of x by 1 every time. Okay. Condition to check is x is not equal to 100. So how will I start? Initially, the value of x is 1. After the initial value, I check, is x less than 100? No, x is not less than 100. Then what I do? I do a print statement. I do a statement that I have to execute. The statement to execute is print, so I print 1. Okay. So after printing the statement, what do? I increment the value. So it is like this. Condition, if true, if false, set of statements, then increment, then what you do is go back. Okay. So this is if false, if true, exit. Okay. And how do you enter here? You enter here with the initial condition. Okay. So you enter inside with initial condition, then it's initial value, sorry, initial value. So this is how a basic loop is. You have some initial value, you come and check the condition. If the condition is false, you do whatever you are supposed to do, you execute a set of statements, then increment the value. Again, you go and check the condition. Is the condition true? It is still not, no, this should be true, sorry. If the condition is false, we come out. Okay. So if the condition that is specified is true, it is still true, then do whatever the set of statements you're supposed to do. After that, increment. Again, go back and check. So this cycle keeps repeating again and again, again and again. So that is how, let's say, I wanted to print values. So initially, I'll have x is equal to 1, print x, 1. Increment the value of x, x becomes 2. Is x less than 100? No, true, it is less than 100. So what you do? Again, go back. Then I print 2. After printing 2, again, I'll check. I'll increment the value of x, x becomes 3. Is 3 less than 100? Yes, it is less than 100. So again, what you do? Again, I'll come here and print 3. Increment the value 4. 4 less than 100? Yes. Print 4. So I'll keep doing like this, like this, like this till 99. Then I'll have 100. So then I see I'd have printed 99. Is 100 less than 100? No, 100 is not less than 100. Then what happens? I come out of the loop. Okay. So just like the word says, right? Loop. You are stuck inside a loop. Normal English terms we talk about. So similarly, you in MySQL also you have loops. Okay. Let us discuss the actual how a loop statement looks like. Okay. So if you see here, one is loop. So the loop statement is used when you're not sure how many times you want to increment. So here also, if you see, we are not sure how many times we are wanting to increment. We are just checking the condition. As long as the condition is true, we were incrementing the value again and again, again and again. Okay. So similarly, inside the loop, it starts with loop, and then you have a set of statement, and then you have a end loop. Okay. So every loop can have a name. So the label name that you see is the name of the loop. Okay. I'll show you with an example. You should be able to understand better. Okay. So if you see, it says, copy this and show. So it is again a function. So what we are doing is the loops are again used inside a function. You can't use them directly in select statement, but they're again used inside a function. Okay. So a normal function, create function, name of the function returns integer value. Okay. And then what we do, we declare income. So Initially, the value of income is what? The value of income is 0. Okay. Then what we are doing, we are entering this loop. We have specified that there is a loop loop with the name label one. We increase the income to what? Uh, Income is 0, but starting value is whatever is the number that you've given. Okay. So let us say I gave 10 as the starting. 10 is very small. Let's say I get 1000 as a starting value. Okay. So I will write it here. Starting value is equal to 1000. Okay. So what we do is initially income is 0. Then what happens is income becomes income plus starting value. So income was 0 and starting value is 1000. After this statement, income becomes income plus starting value. That is, income becomes 1000. Okay. Then we check, is income less than 4000? Yes, it is true. If it is less than 4000, then we say iterate label one. So what does iterate mean? Iterate means go back to this point. So where is this point? This point is again here. Okay. So then again I come back. I set income to be income plus starting value. What is income? Income is 1000. Starting value is also 1000. Income plus starting value becomes 1000 plus 1000. That becomes 2000. Okay. So 2000 is less than 4000. Sorry, income is 2000. 2000 is less than 4000. Yes, it is true. So because it is less than 4000, again I go back to this label one. So again, label one, income becomes 1000 plus 2000 becomes 3000. Is 3000 less than 4000? True. Yes, again it is true. So then again we go back, income becomes 4000. Okay. So when income becomes 4000, is what? Is 4000 less than 4000? No, 4000 is not less than 4000. That's why what happens? We come out of this loop. Okay. So how do we come out? Because it is not true, we come outside if statement ends, and then we say leave label one. Okay. So leave label one means wherever this is ending, wherever you have the end of the loop defined. Okay. So end of the loop is defined here. We come outside of this. So once we come outside of this, what are we returning? We are returning income. So our income is 4000. Okay. I know it is little bit. How many people understood, just to see? How many people did not understand? Yes or no in the chat, please. Anybody wants to say no, but wants to know what will return? Okay. Okay, fine, fine. So this function is not using any table or anything. So we'll just create this function and see what it is returning. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So if I create this function, it would say created. Okay. So we'll keep it as now. Select calc income. Say I give 2000. I give 200. What does it return? It will give me 1 second. Give me a second. Okay. RSA. So if I give 200, it is returning me 4000. Why is it returning me 4000? Because I initially come, एक second one, make it smaller. Okay, take this. Okay, so the starting value is 200. So I will come here. Income is 0 initially. I'll come inside this loop. First time, what is the income? It becomes 200. Okay. Starting value is anyway always 200. Okay. So is 200 less than 4,000? True. So if it is true, what do you do? Go back to the starting point. The starting point is label 1. So I come here. Again, I increase income to 400. Is 400 less than 4,000? True. Then what? Go back to the starting point. Okay. So it's saying go back to starting point. So income was 400. Then income becomes 600. Income is income plus starting value. 400, 600. It will be increment in terms of 200s only. Okay. So 200, 200, 200 increment होता जाएगा. So when income becomes 3,800, income becomes 3,800 less than 4,000. We say it is true, and then we go back to again label 1. Then what do we do? Income becomes 4,000. So when the income is 4,000, right? 4,000 is not less than 4,000. That is why what happens? We come out of the end. If ends. We're not defined anything else. So if ends. After if ends, what is the statement? The statement says leave label 1. Okay. Leave label 1 means find out where is the end of the loop. Where is the, what is this label 1? This label 1 is loop, right? So find out where is the end of this. The end of this is here. So execute statements after that. After that, what is the statement? After that, the statement is return income. So that is why the income was at that time what? It was 4,000. So we return 4,000. Okay. So I'll give another example. Let us say I give 5,000 to it. Then what will happen? If I give 5,000, what will happen? What will be the output? Anybody wants to take a guess? Okay, it will be 5,000 only. And how many times will the loop run in this case? Yeah, so the loop runs one time. How does it run one time? I'll show you. Okay. Okay. So let us say I delete all this. Okay. So I have loop. Income is starting value is how much initially? Starting value itself is 5,000. Okay. And income is what? 0. Okay. So I come to this loop. We come to label 1. Then what do? Income is income plus starting value we do. Okay. So what does income become? 0 plus 5,000. That is equal to 5,000. Okay. So income is 5,000. Then I come to this condition to check. So is income less than 5,000 less than 4,000? No, 5,000 is not less than 4,000. So what happens? I directly go to end if ends, and then I go to leave statement. From leave statement is executed, and then we return the income whatever was there. Okay. Did you guys understand? No reply, nothing. So let us try to create another function. So what this function will do, given what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? So let's say I give it a number. Uh, let's say I give it some number. What do we want it to calculate? Let us say I give it a number 100. Let's say I give it some number. Then it has to tell me how many even numbers are there between that. Okay, so like how many even numbers are there between 0 to 100? Let's leave 0, 1 to 100. There are 50 even numbers, right? So I want this function to return me, if I give it some number I, it should return me how many even numbers are there between 1 to I. So let us try to write this function. Okay, so we'll name it count even numbers. Okay. Let's call it final value, and it is of type integer. So we will also return an int only. Okay, so set counter 0. Okay, so we don't do anything here. Okay. If income ही नहीं चाहिए हमको, declare starting number. Okay, starting number int. Okay, default starts with what? It starts with 1. Okay, so then what we do, if number is greater than final value, let's not call it starting number, let's call it current number. If current number is greater than final value, then end the loop. Okay, else what we will do, let us remove all these comments. So this is this. We don't want to end if. So else. Okay. So this is wrong. If current number is greater than final value, then we do leave label 1. Okay. Else what we will do, else if current number mod 2 is equal to 0, then set count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, then we say go back to, okay, we also increase the current number. Set current number is equal to number plus 1. Iterate to label 1. Okay, else set same these two things. Okay, so we did current mod 2 is equal to 0. Then do these things, else do these things, and if leave label 1, this is fine. Even if I don't do this, it is fine. And loop label 1. Why is it showing issue here? Okay, and let's name it delinked is also there. And loop label 1. And if is there, else if is the, is it this? Okay, correct. So now let's see this function. So unknown system variable count. Count is not declared only. Okay. This function is created. So if I give you count even numbers between 1 and 10, how many even numbers are there between 1 and 10? Count even numbers till 10. Give me 5. It says unknown column final value in field list. Final value. Okay. Current number greater than final value. Final value should be this. Okay. This is the final value, right? Current number greater than final value. This is current. Return is not income. Return is count. Let's do drop effects. Function if exists. Drop. Okay. We're done. Drop. Let's run this function. Each on AI. Okay. So I created this function. So it's giving us 5. Correct, right? So let's say if I tell it to find the even numbers between 1 to 20, it will give me 10. Right? Say 1 to 25, give me 12. So it is exactly calculating the number of even numbers given one number to it from 1 to till there. So let us see how is it able to do that. So the final value, let's say we create a variable final value, keep it as 10. Okay, so initially I've input final value as 10. Okay, what is the current number? Current number we have count. So initially current number is 1. Default I've given you 1, so it is 1. Count is 0. Okay. So now when we start, what do we do? Is current number greater than final value? Is 1 greater than 10? No. If it is not greater than 10, if it is not true, then go to else condition because this condition is not satisfying. Okay. So in else condition, what are we checking? Is current number mod 2 is equal to 0? Is 1 mod 2 is equal to 0? No. So then what we do? We go to this condition, else. So it's like this is the condition for even number. This is the condition for odd number. This is the exit condition. Okay, so let us try to understand what are we doing in each of these conditions. Okay, so if the given number is odd number, what do? We don't do anything. We increase the current number to +1. So current number was 1. Current number becomes 2. Okay, number की size बढ़ा के सकते हैं. Okay, current number becomes 2. Okay, so now current number is 2. We go back to label 1, this point. Okay, so then we check, is 2 less than 10? No. Then we go to this condition because this is false. Is current number mod 2 is equal to 0? That is 2 mod 2 is equal to 0? Yes, it is equal to 0. So this is true. So then what we do? Count is count plus 1. So what was count previously? Count was 0. Now what happens? Count becomes 1. Okay, count becomes 1. We also increase the current number. Current number becomes 3. Then what do? We go back to the same label. Start. Now we check. Let us decrease this number to 5. I don't want to go very far. Is 3 less than 5? No, is 3 greater than 5? That is, current number is greater than final value? No. Then I come back to else if condition. Is current number mod 2 is equal to 0? No, it is not equal to 0. Then I come to this condition, odd number wala condition. What do? We increase this number to 4. Then we go back to label. Okay. So again, I'm at the label, then I check. Is 4 greater than 5? No, 4 is not greater than 5. Then what do? I come to this else if wala condition. Is 4 mod 2 is equal to 0? Yes, 4 mod 2 is equal to 0. So in that case, what should I do? I have to increase the count again to count plus 1. So count was 1. 1 plus 1 becomes 2. Okay, and then again I go back to here. Okay, so once I go back to here, I check sorry, I would also increase. Okay, we have increased the number. We should also increase this number to 5. Forgot that. 5. Is 5 greater than 5? No, 5 is not greater than 5. Oh, sorry, it was correct. Current number was 5. Count was 2. 1 second, and then value is 5. 1 minute. We missed something. Count for 4, count became 2, and this number was 5. I missed the logic. So let's say I have, okay, so current number is 2, final value is, let's say, 5. Yeah, so the condition is such that 2 and 4 are even numbers. So whenever we are at 2, 4, we come here, the counter increments to +1, and then once we are at 5, 5 is not greater than 5, but it is also not coming in this. So we come here, then 5 becomes 6. When we come to 6, we see, is 6 greater than 5? Yes, 6 is greater than 5. Then what happens is we say leave label. So leave label brings us all the way to here. Okay, that is end loop label 1. So after this, what we are doing, whatever is the value of the count, we are returning that. Okay, so the value of the count at that point will be 2. So that is why in 1 to 5, how many even numbers we have? We have 2 and 4. Okay, so you may have to do a dry run of this to understand it better. But again, question, how many people understood it and how many people did not? How many people did not understand? Others? Okay. Why 2 times current number plus 1 in even and odd part? Okay. So, okay. So what is current number? Current number is my pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So against what number am I checking if it is divisible by 2 or no? Against current number here. Is right? So no, only this one condition, not that. This is the condition. So every time I have to keep increasing the current number, right? To say I check if one is correct, one is divisible by 2 or no. So what do I have to check next? I have to check next 2. So I saw that, let's say 1 was here, 1 is not divisible by 2. So then what do? I increase the number to 2. Okay. I've increased the number to 2 and then I go back. Then I check. Is 2 divisible by 2? Yes, 2 is divisible by 2. So the count becomes 1. So now I have to go to next number, right? So the next number, how will I go? I'll set current number to the next number. So now current number becomes 3. I check is 3 divisible by 2? No. Then I come to this part. So set current number to the next number. Current number becomes 4. Then again I do 4 divisible by 2. It is true. So it becomes 2. So because of this only, we need to keep incrementing the current number even if it is odd or it is even. Okay. So we don't use loops that frequently inside MySQL, but they are there. If you want to, in any case you wanted to do use it, then you can. So just like loop, there are other statements. One is repeat and one is while. These are also very similar, slight changes. I'll quickly tell you. So let's say you had same function is there. It is written in both the ways. Loop statement. Okay. Then you have repeat statement. You have while statement. So let's just see what is the difference between all of these. Okay. So we discussed about loop so far in depth. We have a loop and then we say iterate or go here. In case of repeat, so repeat also has a label name. So we keep repeating. Here we were actually writing the condition on our own, right? If income is less than 4,000 and then we're checking. Okay, yeah. I'll give questions. So inside repeat, what we have is we have a special keyword for it. It is until. So this condition, right? So as long as this condition is not satisfied, it will keep it will keep repeating at the same place until income becomes greater than or equal to 4,000. The same label is repeated. So label one, we keep going back to same place again and again until this condition is met. Rest other code and all is same only. Okay, so you have end loop here, so you have end repeat here. It starts with the keyword repeat. Here it starts with the keyword loop. The difference is here we have to specify the condition using if case. But here what we can do is there is a special keyword called until. It's like repeat until this is false. As long as this is false, it will keep repeating. Once it becomes true, we come out. Okay. Then we have while here. So while what happens is in repeat, the condition is after. If you see, uh, condition is after, but here in while the condition is before only. While condition. As long as this condition is there, then you keep doing these statements. Okay. So here this condition is at the end. Here the condition is in the beginning only. Here the condition is not there only. We have to specifically say this is a condition. This is called as exit control loop. This is called as entry control loop. Right? In normal language. Why exit control? Because why this is exit control? Because this will run at least once, and after it has run once, we check the condition. But here what happens? Even before it runs, we are checking the condition if it is uh, sorry. Even before it is running, we are checking the condition. Only if this condition is true, it keeps running. The moment this condition becomes false, it comes up. This much is enough for today. I had come across 2, 3 on LinkedIn. I'd seen this. I just wanted to share. And before that, people. So today, what all we discussed, I think we mostly solved questions today based on functions and if if conditions and loops. I think it is okay. It is good to look at as many examples as possible so that if you practice more, if you look at the examples more, then you'll understand. So I hope we are clear with functions. We have practiced the various type of functions, and we also cleared with if else conditions. Loops, I think we can solve some more questions maybe tomorrow using repeat and using while statement. Then we'll cover stored procedures as well after in the next class only. Yeah, I was going through LinkedIn. I found this nice cheat sheet, like it's written by somebody, but they have like whatever all the queries that we have seen, all the commands that we have seen, right? So basic select star from column names from order by order by select using alias, and then they have join also. There is one join. Then comparison operators are there, and then different types of joins are there. Whatever most of the things that we have discussed, right? And some we have not discussed, but I'll share this with you. It is a nice document. You guys can look at it and just revise if you want to. Okay. There's one. I'd seen one more. This was shared by somebody. I don't remember. Ankit Pangas. Okay. So this has a lot of questions that that person has solved, and he has also given you statements, the queries that are there for that. So you can also take a look at this and try solving questions. Okay, I think the questions are slightly difficult ones, but give it a try. Okay.
1322 questions.
What?
1322 questions. Like I saw 1300,
No,
1322.
no, no. The numbers are not right. I think he's picked questions from somewhere. I think these are lead code, maybe probably lead code or somewhere.
Combined two numbers.
But yeah, yeah, I think you can give it a try.
Okay, sir.
At least something. Yeah. Then Monday we look at.
So
I
provide
wanted to
some
cover
questions. Questions, sir.
on functions,
Yes, sir. Functions and stored functions.
stored functions. Mm, 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 mm. I think this should also have questions on stored functions. I'll see. I'll share. I've not created questions as such myself, but I'll share them if I create. Or I'll try to create and then share. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then what was I saying? I thought I'll cover stored procedures. Stored functions is done. It's gonna get done. Yeah, it's okay. This much is done. Then this done to loop extensively. We'll solve a question or two and while and repeat and then do stored functions. Stored. Okay, sorry. Stored functions is done. This is slightly done. Take care. Fine. So this much. So remaining ones we'll try to cover in next 3 4 classes. Then we'll switch to the other one. Fine. Anybody has any doubts or anything that you want to discuss?
So most of the topic, I just like know the basics of syntax and like basics solving questions, but I haven't
Hmm.
solved like real time questions.
You
So I
should solve
feel
it. I that lead code is nice. Hacker rank is nice. So there you don't get questions by specific topic. So that thing also gets tested. That what topic am I supposed to use here, right? So here whatever I've
yes,
discussed, I'm
sir.
discussing like okay, so this is a topic. This is how questions can be from this topic. But when you start solving actual questions, what happens there is they don't tell you that okay, this question is from this topic. You have to
Yes,
read
sir.
the question, then you have to understand what topic should I, whatever from whatever I've learned, what queries or what command should I apply here so that I can write the correct answer. So that also gets tested. So it comes by practice.
Okay, sir.
Just listening to class, you'll understand the basics, but to feel confident, you should go practice the questions there.
Mm-hmm. Actually, sir, I was searching stored functions based questions in SQL. So
Mm,
I didn't
mm,
get like I got some information, but not get
mm.
like problem
I
solve
think I
like
had
real
shared
world.
some. I think they were not useful. Yeah,
As it,
मैंने कुछ
yes, sir.
those links I had shared it in one of the class and में I think
Yes, sir.
कौन से class में था?
Seven,
Not here. Okay, these were on joins. Okay, these are on joins that I shared. ठीक है, I'll see. I'll find out if I find something question. But don't wait for me to keep giving you questions. You should
mm-hmm.
search online and whatever websites are there. You should practice from there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And also, I'll share this thing. Try looking at these and try practicing.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else has anything to say? You want to talk about something?
So actually, I have also one question. So is it possible to solve like so many questions uh, like in during the classes? Like we will complete within 20 days, like 10 to 15 days MySQL, and after that we will start Java. After that front end. So is it possible to like solve the questions along with the
inside.
classes? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we are solving, right? So what do you mean? You mean
No, 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 sir.
specific class?
No, sir. No, sir. No, no, no. Like you are solving, that is okay. Like to feel confident ourselves, we need to solve like lots of questions. So
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
know, just
that is
want to know, like, is it sufficient to, is it like time is sufficient to solve such so many
yeah.
questions?
Classes time. I don't think it is sufficient. So uh, you can minimum number of questions, whatever is required, that I'm trying to show and solve. But beyond that, I'll keep a class or two to just solve extra questions. But uh, I don't think we have to finish it. So if you keep going, no, you can teach SQL only for 30, 40 days. Slowly solve as many questions as possible. But it
Yes.
is fine. So if you know this to some extent, later on when you learn Java and all, right, so there you'll actually develop thinking skills, how to solve coding questions and all, right. So whatever you learn there, no, it is transferable here. Only the syntax
Mhm.
changes, the logic and all, whatever you learn there, it is as same as like loops, functions, if else, switch statements, cases, all of these, no, all of these will, whatever you learn in Java, you can reuse the same things in MySQL as well. The only thing separate in MySQL are these different queries: select, update, create, alter. So if you are and group by, order by, joins. Okay, so
Mhm.
those you need to know. Functions and procedures, you just need to know the syntax and all. You'll solve more and more in Java classes. Okay,
Mhm. अगर
but
सर मेरा
I'll
बोल
try. Sorry, go ahead.
सर मुझे मेरा बोलने का ये मतलब था कि जैसे
Mm,
कि 15 से 20 दिन में हम लोग का एसक्यूएल खत्म हो जाएगा, तो जितने भी टॉपिक्स है एसक्यूएल में उसके
mhm,
बेस्ड जो क्वेश्चन आप जो बता रहे हैं वो तो ठीक है, उससे तो हो ही जा रहा है, बेसिक बहुत सारा ये हो रहा है, क्लियर हो रहा है, और जो क्वेश्चन
mm.
करवा रहे हैं उसमें कॉन्फिडेंट भी आ रहा है, बट खुद से कॉन्फिडेंट पाने के लिए मतलब जितने क्वेश्चन इतना क्वेश्चन हम लोग के लिए तो सफिशिएंट मे बी नहीं होगा।
Yeah,
तो
that I agree. I agree. That is
हाँ,
true. So वही ना, वो आपको प्रैक्टिस करना होगा.
यस सर। तो मतलब कितने क्वेश्चन बनाएंगे तो हो जाएगा कि रियल वर्ल्ड में अगर जब मैं काम करने जाऊंगा तो जॉब मुझे मिलेगी तो उसके बेस्ड जो क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे वो मैं कर पाऊंगा।
Every topic specifically, if you solve not easy ones, easy
हम्म,
ones आप कितने भी कर लो, अगर आप as long as you keep challenging yourself, you'll keep improving. अगर आप सोचो एक दो इजी वाले कर लिए और बाकी सब उसी पैटर्न के करते हो, तो फिर कोई फायदा ही नहीं ना, बिकॉज
यस सर।
डिफिकल्टी लेवल नहीं बढ़ रहा है. तो try solving some. You can sort by difficulty level also questions in some platforms. So fight and easy, fight and medium. If you're able to do 4 5 hard for each topic, joints में इतने सारे, and then stored functions, some group by queries में some, that should be enough.
ओके सर। तो प्रैक्टिस ही कर सकते हैं बस।
Yeah, you have to anything. मैं ये मेरे को प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है, मैं टाइप करता हूँ, आप तो टाइप कर ही नहीं पा रहे ना. सो
जी
आप
सर।
बस देख रहे हैं.
हाँ
देख के ऐसा
हाँ।
लगता है, अरे देख के यू विल फील लाइक ओके ही इज टाइपिंग दिस, आई हैव अंडरस्टूड. बट जब आप एक्चुअली जाके टाइप करोगे ना, तब
करते
आपको
हैं।
पता चल जाएगा ये करना है, ये करना है, अरे ये पता ही नहीं है, ये हो ही नहीं रहा है, ये इसको क्या करना है. सो
तो
व्हेन यू
वो जो
एक्चुअली
एक क्वेश्चन जो सर आप मिनिमम 5 मिनट से 10 मिनट लगाते हैं वो हम लोग आधा घंटा लगा देते हैं,
इट
क्योंकि
इज फाइन.
उसमें हर
धीरे
एक चीज को लॉजिक, हाँ,
धीरे
हर
धीरे
चीज
आ
को
जाएगा.
समझना पड़ता है।
I agree, that is so, because it is starting, right? So slowly, when you start solving more and more questions, it will get faster.
यस सर। एक्चुअली सर ये मेरा
Yes.
पूरा प्रेशर ही है एकदम, मतलब मैं तो इसमें बैकग्राउंड से नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं करूँ और मैं अच्छा
Mhm.
जॉब लूँ इसी फील्ड में। मैं
Yeah,
बहुत
it's okay.
हार्ड वर्क कर रहा हूँ।
Okay. Any days, कितने 10 क्लास हो गए, बस 10 क्लास में we have covered a lot. इफ अगर
यस
ये
सर।
कॉलेज में होता ना तो इसके लिए एक सेमेस्टर लेते। ये पूरा बस इतना जो कुछ भी हमने किया है ना इसके
तो
लिए एक
जितना भी,
सेमेस्टर।
यस सर, जितने भी आपने बताया ना सर, सबका सब पीपीटी मैंने 2 से 3 बार हमेशा पढ़ते रह रहा हूँ। और जो
हम्म
उसका लॉजिक है वो भी मैं हमेशा सिंटैक्स उसको दिमाग में रख रहा हूँ, उसके हिसाब से मैं कॉपी में ही अपना सिंटैक्स खुद से क्वेश्चन मतलब क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ, मतलब क्वेश्चन देख रहा हूँ और खुद से कॉपी में बना रहा हूँ, मतलब हमेशा लैपटॉप
हम्म
में ही नहीं बना रहा हूँ। कभी
हम्म
कभी
हम्म
कॉपी में उसका सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, देख रहा हूँ कि वो सिमिलर है या नहीं, मतलब सॉल्व हो पा रहा है या नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो फिर करता हूँ तो
हम्म
हो जाता है। तो
हम्म।
वो जितने भी आ रहे हैं तो समझ में तो आ रहे हैं जो बेसिक क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन जो जैसे कि लिट कोड में मैंने देखा था तो उसमें जो मतलब उसका जो क्वेश्चन लेवल था वो थोड़ा अलग ही टाइप का था।
तो दे आर लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट।
यस
या
सर। बस
तो
अब वही प्रैक्टिस ही करना पड़ेगा और कुछ नहीं।
हम्म। अगर इफ यू आर सॉल्विंग दोस एंड इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, अगले दिन क्लास में आके पूछ सकते हो मुझसे।
वो सर वो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मतलब बहुत सारे
हम्म।
क्वेश्चन होते हैं सर, तो सब तो पूछ नहीं सकते हैं तो।
या दैट इज तो
हम्म,
तो अगर आपको ट्राई करना होगा, आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा है, आंसर देखो, आंसर देख के भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो यू कैन कम एंड आस्क।
यस सर, आंसर देख के से समझ में आ जाता है सर।
वही। तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज योर थिंकिंग इज नॉट बिल्ड टू दैट लेवल कि वो ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं।
जी जी जी।
तो वैसे
ओ,
सोचने के लिए आपको पहले वैसे वाले क्वेश्चंस देखने पड़ेंगे।
ओके, तो मतलब अगर मुझे कोई क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है तो मैं उसको अगर देखता हूँ और देख के मैं फिर उसको समझ के फिर अपने से करता हूँ तो वो एक अच्छा लॉजिक बिल्ड कर सकता है
हाँ,
जैसे।
दैट इज फाइन। तो इस बार आपने इसको देख लिया कि ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन आए तो ये ऐसे लगाना है, ये नहीं तो इफ आई हैव टू यूज क्वेरी इन दिस स्पेसिफिक वे इफ आई गेट दिस क्वेश्चन। तो जब अगली बार ऐसे ही टाइप के क्वेश्चन कोई दूसरे थोड़ी बहुत चेंजेस होके आती है तो तब आपको पता चल जाएगा ना, पिछली बार मैंने सिमिलर टाइप की क्वेश्चन थी और ये यूज किया था, क्या ये यूज करने से यहाँ पे सॉल्व हो सकता है।
हम्म।
राइट, वो कर
यस
सकते हो आप।
सर। हम्म। ओके सर, थैंक यू।
एनीबडी एल्स हैज एनीथिंग? Okay, fine. Then I'll share the PPT, then I'll share these two documents. We'll meet on Monday.
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. Bye bye.
गुड नाइट।